Trump isn't really accomplishing anything because Russia's doing what they've been saying that they would do the entire time while still pursuing their goals on the battlefield. Russia's root causes that they're mentioning are literally the Kiev regime as it stands right now. It's not just, oh, we promise we won't join NATO. It's, the fact that it really exists at all and is completely propped up by NATO. So where does that leave us in terms of the possibility of really ever having a deal that truly does address all of Russia's concerns?
I still don't believe it's possible to have any deal. Or Ukraine might at some point decide it's going to cut its losses if there's a regime change in Kiev, if they replace Zelensky. There may be surrender terms at that point, maybe with some Western assistance. There's not many good options for this. So what you see now is just ideas being floated out like talking points. The U.S. talking point a couple of weeks ago was we need to stop the killing. Now the Europeans, when they came over for this meeting, Ursula von der Leyen, everyone's, we need to stop the killing. So they've adopted this as this sort of moral talking point to give them some kind of moral legitimacy, give the impression they're genuinely concerned. The other talking point that is interesting, land swaps. I don't know where this came from. I don't see any land swaps. I've not heard Russia talk about land swaps ever. That's another kind of fake talking point. And then the other one, this is the interesting one, in security guarantees. And they've expanded it. So if you listen to Macron, von der Leyen, all these European leaders, Friedrich Merz from Germany, they're Article 5 style security guarantees. So that's NATO by proxy. So who's going to give security guarantees? Not Europe, it's the United States. That's de facto NATO membership. So they become a protectorate of the United States. That's not really going to work. The parties that's losing cannot dictate or even ask for security guarantees. The whole point of why this conflict began is because Ukraine, armed by NATO to NATO standard, deployed its military against its own people, technically, who were in the Donbass. That's the exact same thing that the West roared with anger about what they said Syria did. Well, therefore, we must sanction them. And that's exactly what they said against Milosevic, the president of Yugoslavia, is using the military against his own people. And Gaddafi, this is like the cardinal sin of sins, right, to the West. But this is what Ukraine did when Petro Poroshenko was president. That's how we got to this point in history. And that's Russia's main concern, because they intervened in a way that Samantha Power would call responsibility to protect. It was right on their border. So it was about stability for Russia. And so much so that the international community, for the first time, and the last time ever, had a unanimous vote in the UN Security Council, Resolution 2202, to implement the Minsk peace process.